Greater St. Helens League boys basketball action, featuring the visiting Ridgefield Spudders and your R.A. Long Lumberjacks. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise? Gentlemen, remove your hats, caps, and hoods as we honor America and those who protect and defend her with tonight's national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, our student athletes recognize that judgment calls by coaches, officials, and themselves are made in good faith and should be respected. Spectators can support both of these teams by refraining from derogatory and demeaning comments and cheers this evening. We hope that you will enjoy tonight's action and support the student athletes from both teams in a positive and sportsmanlike manner. At this time, we'd like to acknowledge our officials and thank them for their time and effort this evening. Without officials, tonight's game would not take place. A big hand for tonight's officiating crew, Ryan Chinchin, Ryan Huff, and not Ryan, Brian Cheatley.
I swear Huff's been doing every game every night.
Yeah, I've seen him a lot.
With your actions and words, and always be an encouraging example for everyone around you to follow. Thank you from Arlong High School and the Greater St. Helens League. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the visiting Ridgefield Spudders, as announced by head coach Jason Buffalo. At guard, a 6'2" senior, wearing number 0, Colton Castro. At guard, a 5'9" senior, wearing number 2, co-captain Colton Warren. At guard, a 6'2" senior.
He looks like his brother. I can totally tell now.
Yeah.
At guard, a 6'3" sophomore, wearing number 5, Jameson McCann. And at the post, a 6'2" junior, wearing number 20, Jack Hughes. Watchful eyes of the Lumberjack and Lumberjill statues in the corner, casting down the protected and fortuitous gaze over the surface of Joe Moses Court. And this, what the Seattle Times called one of the top 10 gymnasiums in the state of Washington, the jewel of 1939, your historic Lumberdome. I ask you, Lumberjack Nation, as you rise to your feet. Time it is. It's 7:04 p.m. and it's time to get a little bit jacked up. Here are the starting lineup for your, say it with me, R.A. Lumberjacks. At guard,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's live stream broadcast of Greater St. Helens League boys basketball action. The Ridgefield Spudders come down to Longview to take on the R.A. Long Lumberjacks. Should be a good one here tonight at the Lumberdome. Good to have you with us, as always. Nick Sisson on behalf of N2 Media. Special guest color commentator tonight, head coach of the R.A. Long baseball team, Coach Ryan Littlefield. Coach, how are you tonight?
Hey, doing awesome. Thanks for having me, Nick. This is awesome.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good matchup here tonight. R.A. Long 2-1 in the Greater St. Helens League. Ridgefield 2-2. They have a common opponent here at this point in the season. Both of them have played Washougal, but with different results. R.A. Long losing on the road 44-42. Meanwhile, Ridgefield winning at home 38-30 in an absolute barn burner, back and forth. A lot of offense there in that game, obviously. But defense really rules the roost for the Lumberjacks this season. They're allowing teams to score a paltry 43 points per game as they are now into their 7th game of the year, 5-1 overall. And this is the problem that they've had when they drop the lights, is that they turn right back off again a few seconds later. So someone's going to have to get on that. Ridgefield wearing orange tonight. R.A. Long in their usual home whites.
This is a good matchup. Both really, really defensive-oriented teams.
Yeah, the first team that gets to 30 might be the winner of this one. And Ridgefield controls the opening tip. Drive baseline. McCann finds Hughes. It's bobbled back to McCann. Now top of the circle, Warren with it being guarded by Brown. Colton Castro with the big knee brace. Hesitation dribble into the paint. Kicks far corner three on the way. Foul called. And it's away from the shot. And they're going to get this one on Jack Hughes. That's his first. A lot of people were expecting R.A. Long to kind of just drift away in the breeze this year, Coach, with Kevin Holden moving on to Central Washington, and then Jake Gabbert, the co-captain as well, and big man Jackson Cook. But the Jacks that haven't really rebuilt, they've just kind of developed and reloaded a little bit.
Yeah, anytime you graduate the best player in the school's history, you're going to have some differences in regards to what the identity of the team is. But yeah, they've picked right back up. They play really good team defense, and when they get quality looks, they're hard to stop.
Yeah, they seem to have about 5 or 6 guys that on any night could get you between 12 to 15 points. And, you know, Lonnie Brown, I think the only guy to go over 20 so far this season individually. Rhett Young's come close a couple times as Castro dials up the triple. It's an early 3-0 lead for the Spuds.
And I think teams like that are dangerous because you just don't know who's going to have the hot hand each game, and you can't plan around one guy.
Peyton Thill had a really good game in the last one against Hudson's Bay. Gets it at the top of the circle, goes far side. Jack's living outside right now in this possession. Jenkins' three to match Castro is off the front iron. Rebound Spudders. Castro gets a screen, goes back to the screener. That's Hughes. Coming over and maybe getting away with a step there was Chester. Chester's the real guy that you got to keep your eye on. Backdoor cut, good defense by Brown, and good help over there by Abel to come over there and get in position to probably take a charge. And then Abel's the trailer, and he gets an open three off front iron. Hughes with the rebound, but that was a quality look there.
Every time I see Trey Jenkins, he looks healthier and healthier. Good sign.
Yeah, it looks like he's put on about 15 pounds of muscle since last season.
He's a big guy.
Drive into the paint. Good jump stop there. A shot just rolls off. Jenkins flies in, gets the rebound, saves it to Young. Brown, the trailer here. He's got that distance. Million gets a high screen from Young. You can tell what the Spudders want to do right here, Coach. They want to collapse on the big man down low and keep everything outside.
And I don't blame them. I might do the same thing. Just kind of take your chances and see if they can get hot beyond the arc.
So far, R.A. Long 0 for 3 from downtown, but a lot of time in this one, and they're not going to be afraid to shoot. Warren has a little bit of space. Hard to tell the difference between them because they both got their right leg covered up with some apparatus. 6 on the shot clock, tight crossover. Chester, 3 on the way, off back iron. But there's that leaping ability by Hughes I was talking about pre-game.
Athlete.
He's able to get over the 6'9" center for R.A. Long and put it back up and in. 5-zip Ridgefield. Hughes, the younger brother of Henry, who had a stop at LCC last season before transferring. 4:30 to go. The Jacks are still looking for their first point. Kick far side Phil. But again, everything on the outside here, Coach. Jenkins looking down low, and the lob passes over the head of Young. Good defense down low. Expect a timeout here potentially after this possession. McCann goes to Castro. Castro keeps it up high. Now dribbling behind his back. Gives it back to Warren, being guarded by Thill. Both teams using a lot of time on the shot clock. Jab right, drive baseline, cut off beautifully by Brown.
How to get it up.
Hughes wasn't expecting to shoot, but he's going to get a bucket. Count it and one. 7-0. It's a touchdown lead here for Ridgefield. Hughes now with 4, looking for 5. Million's going to check out. Irwin back in, or I should say in for the first time tonight. He got the start the other day against Hudson's Bay, but a little bit different look there. As the free throw airballed. 3:50 to go here in the first. 7-0 Ridgefield. It only takes one bucket though, Coach, as you know with these guys, just to kind of get that confidence back, and it's a long one.
All it takes is one, and then you get a little confidence going, feeling good.
High screen, Young looking to roll and establish. You got to give Hughes a lot of credit so far here in the early going, playing him straight up. Good wow. I don't know about that, but we're going to get a foul called on McCann, and McCann did not agree with that call. Jenkins did the right thing, though, Coach. When you're struggling, put your head down, drive to the basket, see if you can get to the line.
Get a good look or get to the line. Can't go wrong.
You don't see any other Lumberjacks in the picture because they're all huddled up with Coach Jeray Key. They're using this as like a quick 20-second timeout as Jenkins calmly hits the first to crack the seal. Second free throw also good for Tremaine. 7-2. It's the best hand in poker right there. Double team up top. Spudders work out of it though. Down the lane is McCann, and McCann attacks the basket, gets the roll. One thing that you'll always say about Ridgefield is that they are well coached by Jason Buffum.
I couldn't agree more. He was the Woodland head coach when I was in high school, and we had a lot of success against them, but they were always very well coached, very defensive oriented, boxed out situations. A lot of respect for Coach Buffum.
Last year, everyone thought that his team, just like kind of what people thought about R.A. Long this year, is they lost 7 seniors. And then guess what? They end up taking a step further than they did the previous year. They got a ticket to the round of 16 in the regionals.
Who would have thought?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, and all they did was lose Sid Bryant this year too. And a lot of people not down on the players that they got, but just not excited, I'll say.
Sure.
And I think that Coach Buffum does a lot with the guys that he's got on his team. And the one thing that you can see about a good coach too is that they improve throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
High pick set. Phil kicks to Irwin. Irwin does the right thing, just missed. Ooh, I would say it looked like it was just going to roll off. But Coach Buffum wants him to seal that lane a little bit better there as he's up off the bench barking out instructions. 9-4. That's a big bucket for Landon Irwin. Castro being guarded by Brown. That's a good matchup. So is Phil against Chester, honestly. Those are two really good individual matchups. Hard screen set up top by Hughes. 4 on the shot clock.
Get a hand up.
Chester gets by the big man, floats it up and misses it off the front. Rebound Jenkins. Jenkins looking to push. Irwin back to the basket, spins. Nice drop step. Oh, just missed the shot. Brown there, though, for the follow. And now it's on the floor, and out of bounds is the call. Coach, that move right there is what's got me so excited about Landon Irwin and the sophomore class that Jeray Key has on his team. They're still really young. You've got Rhett Young, you got Jeff Rookledge, who we haven't seen here tonight, and then you got Landon Irwin. You've got a freshman, 6'5", big guy as well. I mean, they've got a lot of potential here in the next couple of years, but Irwin's a guy who can play this season.
Yeah, he made a splash last year at the end of the year, had a great finish to the season, and worked hard in the offseason, and it just keeps getting better. He's a sophomore. He very rarely looks overwhelmed, patient, gets good looks.
Warren off of a curl. His three is money. 12-4, Spudders on top.
Playing man, see if we can get a screen and get it inside. There he is. Do it.
Left-hand shot by
there we
Young
go.
off, but he will head to the line. Young's got good position on the last two possessions. And then Irwin had good possession right before that. So, I mean, you know, they've made a few adjustments to get themselves inside, and that's exactly what Ridgefield doesn't want. I think that the key for Ridgefield in this game is Young off the front iron is what's Ridgefield going to do if Ari Long does start, and they will
And
eventually start to heat up from outside.
That's exactly what that is. Number 20 and 24 are going to be the guys where they're going to try to make Rhett post up anywhere outside the block and try to make his life as hard as possible to stay out of there. But if he can camp on the block and get looks like that, I think Ari Long will be really successful.
Young actually misses a pair. Kemp Fisher with the ball into the ball game, gets it to Chester. Chester crosses over on Phil. Good help defense momentarily, but great move there by Chester. It's a 10-point Ridgefield lead. Phil drives, tough shot. Young able to use his length. Brown, this is who you want shooting it.
That's right.
LBJ gets the crowd excited. Ridgefield can hold for the final shot here. To the corner, three on the way, and it's no good. Put back attempt, no good. Young grabs it. Still a time for a shot here from half court. Brown gets it up, line drive, and it's short. That's going to do it for the first quarter. Ridgefield, though, playing solid defense in that first quarter and opportunistic on the offensive end as well. 14-7 the score after one. Brown with the team lead after that three with 3 points, obviously. And then Jenkins and Irwin each with two. It's Christmas pajama night here at the Lumberdome. I am embarrassed to say I forgot my Christmas PJs tonight.
Right there with you. I'm bummed I missed the boat on that.
Yeah, absolutely. But, man, I mean, this is kind of what I expected here in this matchup is it's just going to be kind of a chess game between these two teams and how they match up. Both of them love low-scoring grinders. You know, seeing a team score over 50 tonight would be a shock to me, honestly.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Talking to Jeray coming into the season, he said, I expect that if we have good success, we could win a lot of games 40-35.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to play really, really good team defense, be tough, and scoring's going to look different this year. You know?
Oh, 100%. Ari Long will start with the basketball as Ridgefield got the opening tip. Phil, Young, Irwin, Brown, and Jenkins out there for Ari Long. Irwin with a little bit of space gets it to Trey. Trey jabs right, hop steps, fakes, goes up strong, and hits. That was about as good of a take as you could possibly have at the high school level. I mean, he had a full head of steam, was able to corral his body and not travel, and then he pumped and went up strong. I mean, all the makings for a big league move right there.
Applying pressure, trying to make him fumble something.
Corner three on the way by Chester, no good, and the push in the back is going to get called on Warren. Warren probably didn't need to do that, honestly, as that rebound was going to go long, but nevertheless, might give Peyton Thill an honorable Academy Award nomination. Irwin will set it up here for Ari Long, trailing by 5. fake high screen up top, dribble behind the back by Irwin, and Irwin gets all the way to the cup again. Another great move, and this one looks out on Ridgefield. Yeah, that's unfortunate there, but number 23, Drew Kerschel, unable to corral that one. You got Kerschel, Mason Curran out there, and then Colton Warren, Cole Chester, and Kemp Fisher for Ridgefield. 7:05 to go in the first half. Spudders so far on top by 5. Good closeout by Warren, but a good ball fake and take by Brown. Just misses the shot, keeps it alive, but Fisher comes away with it. Now up ahead, Chester with it triple teamed. Warren takes it down the heart of the lane, and then it gets kicked far side. Kerschel for 3, no. Needs to follow his shot. Irwin with the rebound. Irwin's had a couple of good drives and takes, Coach. I'd like to see him do that a few more times here tonight.
Yeah,
Chester.
I know he's missed a couple, but yeah, if Arlong can get good looks like that, that's going to be the key to the game.
Ooh, wow. They're going to say stripping off of Chester, and Coach Buffum not happy about that call.
I don't know. He could be telling him he's doing a great job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's often the conversation in basketball with officials and coaches. That reminds me of that Bob Knight commercial where he's just overly nice to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The reason that's funny is because that's something that would never really happen. Irwin, there it is.
Keep doing it, man.
Yep. Irwin starting to get going. Ridgefield now the team that's kind of looking to figure out a way to get going on offense again. Ridgefield still leading by 3, but a double team in the backcourt. Pass up ahead. Ridgefield's able to get it across. Now Warren with it, moves it back around far side. Spudders are patient. They want the ball in that guy's hands, and it ends up with Curran, and his shot no good. Rebound to Brown. There he is again. Ball fake. Good block from behind by Kerschel. 23 on 23 crime there, Coach. And then here's a guy that everybody loves, Jeff Rookledge coming in, a kid that scored 50 at the 8th grade level for Monticello, and everybody knew going in that he's going to be a guy that could be depended on sooner rather than later. He's had his spurts. Numbers here for R.A. Long if they hurry. Brown says, yeah, let's take it. Nope. Phil comes in, though, and gets the offensive rebound. That might have been a travel there by Jenkins, and that is a big league move again. And then we got a timeout after the made bucket. Jeray Key gets the official's attention there, and we'll keep it right here with Ridgefield. Ball will be inbounded underneath the basket. Ridgefield possession. Fans, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Feel free to fill up the live stream comment section with your thoughts, prayers, hopes, dreams, baseball questions for Coach Littlefield, football questions, basketball questions, because he was a 3-sport athlete at Mark Morris, did a little bit of everything. We are blessed to have him here tonight.
Really good sequences there by R.A. Long. Those are the type of looks that they need, and they keep playing good defense, and good things are going to happen.
Well, I mean, just the ideas that we've been bouncing off of each other and observations is that when the team's trying to take the inside away from you and you're able to bully your way down there anyway and still get points, it's not going to cause you to really, be demoralized, but it's a sign that, hey, guys, we're able to do what we want to do even if they're trying to take it away from us.
Exactly.
So
Play to your strength, man.
Yeah, let's just keep going with it. Ridgefield, on the other hand, I think that at this point, they just got to be a little bit more aggressive earlier in the shot clock. They were aggressive in that first quarter, and so far they're just kind of waiting for things to happen. Castro has been on the bench, and he's back out there now. Chester, nice drop step leave, and there you go. You attack the basket on a pick and roll. Jack Hughes, who was on the bench, comes back in, and Ridgefield extends their lead to 3. We got a whistle, travel called on Jeff Rookledge. Hughes with 6 to lead Ridgefield in scoring thus far in the game. It's a great sign for Coach Buffum's team when it's not Chester or Castro who's leading in the points column. When you're getting contributions from a third, maybe a fourth guy, as Warren dials it up wide open, about as good of a look as you could hope for.
Good pass. Take it.
Rookledge, no, just missed it in front of Hughes. Might have thought that Hughes was going to rise up and challenge him, and he went a little bit too close to the backboard. Three up top, no good. And a battle for the rebound, won by Warren. He throws it up and in off the glass. So 4 quick ones for Ridgefield. move their lead back up to 8, and this one's almost thrown away, but Thill able to recover. Still 20 on the shot clock. Jenkins drives, tough shot, no good. Castro gets the rebound. Drive baseline, drop step spin, double team comes, Jenkins saves, and it's inbounds. What a play there by Trey.
Good
Outlet
pass.
up ahead. Rookledge again gets another chance, and this time finishes, and 3 players are down. Bumper cars underneath the basket. Numbers, though, for Ridgefield momentarily. Nice hezzy there. Chester just misses the floater. Brown, ball fakes, drives, has a shot, goes around the defender, misses it. Good help defense by Hughes. And we've got a whistle. And it looks like Jenkins has to check out behind the play. And he's heading to the training room. Good switch on defense. Million picking up the ball. Kick to the corner. Pass down low. Good established possession there, but Hughes has got to go up the first time. That extra kick to the corner costed Ridgefield a good look at the basket down there. You got to like that matchup if you're Hughes against Irwin that low.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one they wanted. Just needed to get it going earlier in the shot clock, like you said earlier.
I mean, that's about a 4-second differential there just by kicking it one time. Irwin wants to bully his way down low on McCann, finds Million. Million had an open look, decides to enter the paint, kicks it. Irwin takes it, tries to go up, draws contact, and they're going to get, I think, Castro on this one.
Sputter foul number 0, Castro. First personal, second team foul of the quarter.
That is the first personal
Irwin to the line
for Castro.
Shooting
Second team foul. And Irwin a chance to cut into the lead here. Hits the first. Coach, how's it feel to have the #1 R.A. Long fan right beside you, not named Nick? No, my son's here, and man, he's on his feet all game long, and he is cheering on the Lumberjacks. He wants to be a Lumberjack more than he wants to be like a firefighter or a policeman one day. I mean,
No kidding.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've tried to tell him that, you know, we're in the Kelso School District, so he needs to learn to be a Highlander, but
Apparently has other ideas, man.
Exactly, yeah. Good offensive board there by Hughes, again showing off his athleticism, able to score over Young.
I will say, this was one of my absolute favorite places to play in high school for hoops. I don't know what it is about the gym, but it feels like the crowd's like on the floor with you, and it's just an absolute blast.
Ball deflected out of bounds, R.A. Long possession with 1:45 to go here in the second. Hughes continuing to have a great game with 8 points for Ridgefield. Thill goes right back inside. Double teams lurking there, and a good kick. Just a high pass, but still great idea. Looking to reestablish down there is Young. Brown from way downtown, and it's no good. R.A. Long switching everything to get to Chester in a hurry. Castro drives, tough shot, but he leans into contact, and will get the call and head to the line for 2.
I don't know if I agree with that. You shoot the layup with the wrong hand and it doesn't go in. Give me a break.
Castro to the line for the Spudders. Shooting 2.
And Castro's first freebie rolls off.
You can hear Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, you took it from my head, Coach. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the old ball don't lie. Castro actually misses them both, but there's Hughes, and Hughes fell down on by Young. It's a good foul on the floor, though, there. So
It's true.
it's only the second team foul for R.A. Long with 1:12 left. Jenkins okay, back into the game. It's a good sign for the Lumberjacks because Tremaine's had a pretty good second quarter here.
Good switch there.
They need a switch on everything. Wide open is Castro. Yeah, that's the guy you do not want shooting that shot. Crossover, Million pushes off a little, doesn't get the call, or excuse me, no call against him, I should say. You don't want that call. Phil fires up a three. That's not really the design. .47 seconds to go here in the first half. Ridgefield on top 23-17. Good defense by Jenkins, better follow by McCann. And a steal up ahead, save.
That was impressive. I don't know how he stayed in bounds.
It's an 8-point lead, shot clock off. Ridgefield can grow this lead potentially before the buzzer. Chester with it, being guarded by Million. Bounce pass, Castro drives, goes up, tough shot, no good. Crashing the glass again, and getting another bucket is McCann at the horn. Ridgefield on top 27-17 at the break. Ari Long had it within one. McCann now with 4 consecutive points, getting him to 6. Hughes leading the way with 8, then McCann and Chester each with 6. Warren with 5, Chester with 2. So the starters doing all the scoring here tonight for Ridgefield.
If you'd have told me that Ridgefield would be up 10 and Chester would have 2 points, I would have been very surprised.
On YouTube. Yeah, N2 Media. Letter N, number 2, Media. Well, we get to see students from the student section play bump here from three-point land. That'll be interesting halftime entertainment.
Logan Dorland recovering from a shoulder injury. Rehab and playing some bump.
Yeah, Logan came out and played football this year, did good. You know, contributed at times. Tough year for the football team, though. Well, Ari Long's only got one made three-point basket so far here in the first half. Everything else has been down low or at the free throw line. But you know, I think that so far you could point to the difference that Jamison McCann and Jack Hughes have made down low. They're using their athleticism to battle hard with Rhett Young and Trey Jenkins. And they're winning a lot of 50-50 balls and getting good putback opportunities down low. You know, the one thing that Ari Long prides itself on is good defense, especially in the paint, and having a good post presence. And so far this year, Coach, I mean, Ari Long has played its best quarter in the third.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
If you're Coach Buffum, I mean, you got to be in that locker room happy that you're up 10. But at the same time, you got to be telling your guys, hey, these guys come out in the third quarter, and if they're ahead, they put you away. And if they're behind, you got to do everything to expect that they're going to cut into the lead, and we just got to kind of keep our composure and survive. I mean, it's going to be a big challenge, I think, for Ridgefield this next 8 minutes to see kind of what the game's going to look like coming crunch time. And I don't expect the lead to grow in the third quarter.
I don't. Ari Long's at home. They're well coached. They haven't shot it well yet. I think this is going to come down to the wire.
Well, I mean, it did last season, and, you know, even Kevin Holden was on the squad with Jake Gabbard. I mean, Ridgefield came to battle in that one. Castro was out for that one, by the way. He had already had his ACL surgery, you know, and guys that are playing big minutes for him tonight, weren't even in the game, weren't even dressed, you know.
Right.
You know, they don't have Sid Bryant anymore. They don't have Landon Kelsey anymore, who transferred out to Central Catholic in Portland to build his football resume, of which he did by winning a 6A state championship. So probably a good move by him to go do that. But, you know, again, it just shows you the ability for Coach Buffum to reload his guys and refocus his guys. You know, good players from the JV squad coming up last year, and some of these guys sat the bench, you know, dressed as varsity late in the year when you got those extra jerseys available during playoff basketball. But you got to be really impressed with how Ridgefield's playing. I mean, these guys played the same Hawkinson team that R.I. Long played. I forgot to mention that's another common opponent. And Hawkinson won that game by 2, and you look at what R.I. Long did. I mean, R.I. Long beat him by 27. So it's like, you know, you can't really play the who beat who game. But, you know, I think that right now you got to be happy if you're Ridgefield and R.I. Long. You got to be like, well, we didn't play it good at all. We got to figure out a way to come back and play what got us to this point.
Sure, yeah. And I think I don't know if the 2A league has been as deep or as strong as it ever has been than right now. And I would argue that for baseball and basketball, certainly, just with the number of league games you have to play and where you don't really get any breaks. In baseball, I'd say, I mean, there's a couple, in my opinion. But if you go through a streak, you got to play 3 games a week in baseball, and pitch limit considerations, you don't really get any breaks. You got to bring your A game 24/7.
Well, in football this year, there were 3 teams tied for second place and had to do a 3-team tiebreaker, and the team that lost that had to go take on Tumwater in week 1. It's a far cry difference than possibly hosting Aberdeen.
Just a little bit
you know,
different,
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the current makeup of the talent in all sports has been very competitive this year. I mean, if you even want to switch to, you know, girls sports, you know, R.A. Long's volleyball team made the playoffs this year, fell 1 match short of getting to the state tournament.
Right.
You know, Ridgefield and Columbia River continued to do their thing, playing for the state championship for the 3rd straight year. You know, then you had all 4 teams from the Greater St. Helens League in girls soccer make it to the quarterfinals.
How cool was that for R.A. Long girls soccer? Best in school history. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only state victory that they've ever had, and to go all the way up to Bellingham, 4 hours away, to beat a good C-home team to do it.
Essentially a home game.
Yeah, it shows you exactly, you know, how good the league is. I mean, the last couple of years, if you win the Greater St. Helens League in volleyball or soccer in terms of girls sports, you're winning the state championship, right? You're not just, you know, there's a lot on the line for that league championship every year. And for baseball, I mean, Columbia River has been a representative in the state tournament a couple of times in the last few years. I mean, they lost it in walk-off fashion against Tumwater. And
tough way to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And a 0-0 game in the bottom of the 7th, you know. I mean, really tough way to lose, especially since they beat them a couple weeks earlier in the district tournament. So, you know, it just goes to show you the competitiveness that not only, you know, Greater St. Helens has, but EVCO has as well. And, you know, the funny thing is, Coach, is that last year Matt and I were doing a game for the district championship in baseball between Tumwater and WF West, and you know, we were like going before the game, like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bearcats win this game. Because Tumwater has a Bearcat problem in playoff games.
Yes,
if they had to play them in the state tournament, I would not feel good about that at all. But then after the game was over, we're like, I wouldn't be shocked if Tumwater makes a run all the way to the state championship because they don't have to play WF West.
Yeah, it's funny. I can't describe it for a reason of why that is, but those 2 programs just back and forth, and league play, Tumwater has come out on top a lot, and then in the postseason, just WF West continues to get better and be their kryptonite at times.
You know, it's crazy that you just got, you know, these matchup problems, you know. Mark Morris is a huge matchup problem for R.A. Long in football. Doesn't, like, this last year was, you know, I mean, I don't think Mark Morris scored more than 22 points against anybody. And then they almost score 60, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a matchup thing, you know, coaching thing.
R.A. Long have played some awesome defense against a lot of other teams that averaged more points throughout the year, and then that's the way it just shook up, like you're saying. It's interesting.
Well, I think that from what I heard with the reclassification, you know, thing that's going on right now, I mean, some teams will have an opportunity to appeal, but every team in the league minus Fort Vancouver is probably going to stay at 2A at the level.
I heard Ridgefield was a lock for 3.
I haven't heard that, and
Gotcha.
matter of fact, what I heard is like they were one student under.
Oh my goodness.
But or something close to that. But they can opt up if they want to.
Oh,
You know,
they won't.
There's an appeal, yeah. There's an appeal process. You can opt up, you can opt down based on where your numbers is at. From what I heard, Kalama is going to be moving up from 2B to 1A.
That makes sense. I mean, it's continuing to grow along the river and in that community, and they used to be 1A. So
The other team that's close is Woodland to being able to opt down to 1A, and if that's a direction that they want to go, you know, you'll see a league renewal of the 8 Mile War or whatever they call it, 7 Mile War, I don't know, whatever, something like that. It's separated by a few
some type
miles.
of war.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Woodland, I mean, if you think about what they've built, at least on the football side of things,
Yes.
oh my goodness. You know, they would probably be them and La Center, right? And
Yeah.
and then Kalama. I mean, those would be your 3 toughest teams more than likely.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Castle Rock. I mean, that would form like an old school Trico league back in the late 90s, early 2000s when that was still a league. But I always get excited with reclassification. It's like Christmas, you know. It's like leap year, though. Leap year Christmas. It happens every 4 years.
Sure.
You get to open some new presents, get to see some new teams, get some new leagues, some new alignments, you know. So one thing's for certain, though, is that there will always be rivalries and there will always be teams that when they play each other, it doesn't matter what the classification is, it's always going to be a game that matters. This one is one of them. And
Yeah.
these 2 teams love to get after it. And then, of course, you got your civil war with Mark Morris and R.A. Long. As we're ready to go here, second half action, switching sides of the court. Again, the third quarter has been the big quarter for R.A. Long so far this year, and already they've got the defense spread out, and then a turnover is forced. There's a souvenir for a lucky scorekeeper. And the crowd's into it too, Coach. You can feel it, that they're waiting to explode here. Million, Brown, Jenkins, Young, and Phil out there. Long hop step by Brown. Rotation back to the far side. Look at the ground that McCann's giving up on Hughes. Or excuse me, on Jenkins. But McCann was backing away the entire time and was just kind of baiting Trey to come inside. And Trey does muscle his way up there, force a foul. Almost got the roll there, too.
Can't go wrong. Good recipe there.
Misses the first. Hits the second. Pressure in the backcourt. Spudders get it across. Right down the middle. Tough shot. Rolls in for Colton Warren. Tough take.
Yeah, give it to him.
Drive and a kick. Million. And it's thrown out of bounds behind Abel. McCann trying to direct traffic. Chester comes out and gets it at the volleyball line. High screen set, screen and roll. Young slides over, though. Might have been a travel. Instead, ball's batted out of bounds. Kind of see that little crab walk there? It's hard to see, but. 6 on the shot clock as Warren picks up his dribble looking for help. Good switch on defense here as Million picks up on a double team. Shot up before the buzzer. Good if it goes. No good. Rebound Million. Smallest guy on the court. Getting a big rebound there for the Jacks. Jenkins fires it down low. Young catches, goes up. Can't get there. All things said, I think that the game plan is working pretty well for Ridgefield tonight. Young still scoreless in the game. And gets a block there on that one. Out of bounds, Ridgefield will retain, but the game plan paying off here so far tonight.
Executing well.
6 minutes to go here in the third. Million switching. 3 on the way, or a long 2, they say. Still no good, either way. Million looks to Jenkins in the corner. Jenkins looking down low. Long skip pass to Brown, far side. Young working hard, trying to get position. Gets position, goes up with the left and swishes it home. You'd love to see Young get going here, and he's going to have to match the intensity of Hughes because Hughes is working hard and playing him physical down there. Backdoor cut, hop step, losing the ball, but retrieving it, getting it out to McCann. Shot, rolls in. Ooh, that's tough.
He's had some key plays in this game so far.
Million drop step spin, misses. It's a good move there. Double team up top. 3 on the way by Warren. No good. Million trying to save. Throws it off of Castro, and it's out of bounds. All right, long ball. Another big play for Abel Million. McCann with 8 after his last bucket. Ridgefield spreading the wealth out. These two rosters resemble each other eerily similar. Jenkins dared to take a 3. We all thought he was about to. Ball ends up in Rhett Young's hands, working a little bit outside the paint. Good cut by Phil. Young was trying to get it to him, and then they're going to say off of Young. I don't know about that. Looked like it was deflected on the pass. And then we got some help, and nope, still going to stay here. And Coach Key looking for some help from the officials on that one. 31-20, Ridgefield with an 11-point lead. It's their largest of the game. Three by Castro. This is big. No good. Phil with the rebound out in front. Brown, hop step, 3, long. Jenkins fouled on the offensive rebound. Brown hit the one after that. 4:02 to go. Million on the block. Ball fake goes up off the glass. Just missed it. Out of bounds. It'll stay with R.A. Long. Here comes Irwin. I think this is a good substitution here at this point. 3:59 to go in the third. If you're R.A. Long, you want to try to get this lead down to 6. Jenkins fakes right, being guarded by Castro. Has a backdoor cutter, but great collapsing defense. Warren against Brown. And a foul is called on Chester. And I think that's more of just kind of a makeup call than anything else. I think
of the 3 before that.
Yeah, that was probably the least offensive of all of them. Third team foul on Ridgefield. Jenkins goes up. Wild shot, can't hit it. Young battling, can't get it. Good job by Chester. Bounce pass feed inside. Irwin gets a hand on it. No look pass to the corner. Fake 3 by Warren. Loses a handle off of his foot, but it's recovered by Hughes. 11 on the shot clock. High screen set by Hughes, and it's a moving one. That's going to be the 4th team foul on Ridgefield. So R.A. Long with a chance to possibly get to the free throw line with every foul here over the next 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Not a fan of that rule, by the way.
You and I both.
I guess we just don't want to force these kids to hit pressure free throws. Irwin dribbling behind the back. Pushed in the back. No call. What a... oh, my. Oh, my. Wow. Jenkins. And he gets his hand on the ball, but it's going to be a foul. Double team, ball out of bounds. Ooh, R.A. Long basketball. Ooh. Irwin, head fake, kicks it out. Tough shot by Jenkins, misses it short, but gets in on the ball and saves it somehow. And now we got a timeout called by Jeray Key. 2:30 to go in the third quarter. It's getting exciting out here, Coach.
Yeah, intensity's picking up a lot. Ari Long making some hustle plays, trying to get back into it.
Ari Long ball after the timeout. It's a big 2 minutes and 30 seconds here, Ryan.
Yeah, see if we can cut this thing down to 4 or so after this.
Good play there by Warren. Tremendous defense. 33-22. And out of bounds, attempting to save is Warren. Warren with 9. He's the leader in the Ridgefield clubhouse right now. Thill gets it to Brown. Brown being guarded well by Warren. Deep three. Jenkins had to take it. And a foul is going to be called on Irwin.
He's been letting them play the whole game with 2 hands on, with bodies, but that's a foul. Come on.
33-22. Ridgefield with the ball momentarily. Jenkins comes away with it. Jenkins is playing like a man on fire right now. Brown wants it, gets it. Looking inside to Young. Got to throw it in there. Brown drives baseline and shows. 10 seconds now. Travel by Jenkins. Yeah, this is about as physical of a game that I've seen over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, this is. You said it best. I mean, these teams resemble each other so much that I don't know. Sometimes when you're faced with your brother, it brings out fire in you.
Yeah. Skip near side. Castro lets a defender blow by, gets a 3 and cans it. It's the largest lead of the game for Ridgefield, 36-22. Brown comes and gets it. Hop step in the lane. Kicks it out. Phil with it now. Brown takes the deep 3. Hits the deep 3.
Needed that.
LBJ.
Needed a stop and a bucket.
Wow, that was huge. And Irwin's going to get called for a reach. It's a foul to give, but that's crucial because it turns the shot clock off. It gives Ridgefield a chance to run it out here. 15 on the clock. Chester gets a high screen from Curran. Kicks to the corner. Ball fake, bounce pass out. Chester with it inside now to Warren. 3 on the way by Kerschel. Yes. And that will not count if it goes. Ridgefield on top by 14. Heading into the third, they extended a 10-point lead to 14. Heading into the final 8 minutes, you got to give the Spuds a ton of credit here, Coach.
Playing really tough, executing a good game plan. tough D for another game, being well coached. Got the hustle baskets, putbacks in the first half, and then started making some shots in the third.
That bucket there by Kershaw, the first points off the bench tonight for Ridgefield. Good time to get them.
Not bad.
Yep. Ari Long has scored single digits in the first and the third quarter. I'd be remiss to believe that that's the first time all year that they've scored 3 points or scored single digits in the third quarter. Like as we talked about the half,
right.
I built it up, like that they were going to come out and score, 20, 25 there, which they've done a lot so far this year. They actually, Brown scored 18 against Seton Catholic all in the third quarter by himself.
Yeah.
So ultimately.
You just had to tell us the kicker stats before the third quarter.
You got to give Ridgefield a ton of credit here tonight. They are playing phenomenal. Their defense has been very good and physical. They truly are putting it on the officials to call everything. Mm-hmm. It's like the old Seahawks defense. Good move there by Jenkins. Jenkins just muscled his way down.
Absolutely. Legion of Boom by Brandon Browner.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman.
Yeah. Just force them to call it every play.
For sure.
Jenkins with 12 after the bucket. He's the only Lumberjack in double figures. Nice backdoor cut by Warren. Just misses the shot. Young secures the rebound, and a big rebound it is.
He's going to take it.
Jenkins settles into a three, misses it. Three on the way from the corner, hits the side of the backboard out to Phil. 3 on 2 if they hurry. Brown with it, goes down low. Young, foul and one!
Huge.
Nice vision there by Brown. That's about as crisp of a 3 on 2 break as you could teach at any level.
Make your free throw, get a stop, new game.
Colton Castro checking back in. Hughes checking back in. One thing that we've learned as well is that, Coach Buffum doesn't really want to keep his bench guys out there for very long, especially when Ari Long starts to respond. Get the starters right back out there as Young battles through some screams from the Ridgefield fans. It's always tougher when it's one guy screaming, The entire gym screaming at you, no big deal. Huge defensive possession here for Ari Long. Trailing by 9. Oh, and Irwin plays the passing lane well. Hits him right in the number in the back. Far side 3, Castro, short. Look at Hughes go up, but he can't secure it. It's out of bounds. It's going to be Ari Long basketball. But yeah, man, Jack Hughes has got some jump on him down there at 6'2".
He's explosive. Broad shoulders, strong kid.
Ari Long can continue to cut into the lead here at this possession, trailing by 9. Phil circles Chester, goes up. He's blocked from behind by Chester. That's okay. 6:19 to go in the game. Phil receives the inbound far corner. Looking down low, gets it into Jenkins. Jenkins goes up off the glass. Might have hurried it a little bit there. Rebound Ridgefield. Hughes gets it out. Castro. Warren, open 3, short. Young with the rebound. Irwin hits the deck. Brown looking for a screen. Has an open look. Didn't take it. Young now with it. Shuffled his feet. Gets away with it. Loses the ball in the rip through. Hughes knocking it loose. Would have loved to have seen Lonnie throw that one up. Chester gets a good screen from Hughes. Hesitation dribble. Corner, McCann. Bounce pass entry, Warren. 7 on the shot clock. Chester in the corner again. Chester 3. Airballed. And this one's got to go up. That's a shot clock violation, and they are going to stop play. Million's going to check in for Irwin. No, excuse me. He's going to replace Young. Irwin stayed in there. So the Jacks are going small here. Irwin fouled. Castro called for the foul. Not a lot there. It's tough being an official, Ryan.
It is.
It's tough.
It is.
It's tough. I got my whistle with me if I need to use it. Million, badly needed 3. No good. Phil and Million, though, able to get in there and rebound it. Jenkins decides to pull the trigger, and it's no good. Million in there again, but this time McCann gets it, and it's a foul after the rebound. It's going to go against Thill. Jack's just not shooting it like themselves here tonight at home. Near side corner, Castro, open 3, no. Jenkins goes up and gets it. Got to give the defense a lot of credit here tonight for Ridgefield. They are closing out on everything. Jenkins loses it, and it's out of bounds. It'll stay here. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. 4:01 left in the game. Entry goes to Jenkins. Jenkins drives, goes around the defender, no call, as he is down and into the wall and slow to get up. And now we've got a foul called on Irwin.
I thought we would get offensive there.
Lumberjack foul number 23, Irwin, third personal, second.
It's a war out there here tonight. Nothing civil about it. 39-30 still. Ridgefield yet to score here in the quarter, but they've survived on the defensive end. Whistle, offensive foul. Going to go against Colton Warren. Third team foul on Ridgefield. 3.5 to go, though, in this one. Ari Long needs to come up with some buckets. Lots of possessions so far. 3 by Brown is good. There it is. It's a 6-point game. A lot of contact on the screen there. Both guys looking for fouls.
Buffum was hot as the official was coming down, wanting to move and screen.
There's a reach on the way up, and foul on the floor against Ari Long. It's going to be their third team foul. 9 now for Brown after the triple. All of Brown's points tonight from behind the line. Chester, a lot of hesitation dribble, might have towed the baseline, skips it underneath the basket. Hughes loses a handle, throws it inbounds, it's saved by Million. It's turning into a scrum here tonight. Million to the corner, open shot, passed up by Irwin, and Irwin tries to reverse layup side and doesn't hit anything. He was pretty open there in that corner. Pass down low, in position, Jenkins, that's got to be a charge. They got a foul on Irwin here? Huh?
Cheatley's called every foul on Irwin so far.
I don't know what the deal is.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that one. I mean, he boxed him out.
He's called all 4 fouls on Irwin. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be biased at all. That was clearly not a foul on Irwin. I mean, what a... Jenkins reads the passing lane. Ball don't lie, Rashid. Jenkins is going to shoot this one. It's a 4-point game.
It does not feel like a 4-point game. That's huge.
2:07 left. Ridgefield takes a timeout. 14 now for Trey Jenkins.
On a mission.
Yeah, he's got that look, man. You know, you get him the ball and it's going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Jamon Harris is in the house here, just a few scotches down. And Ridgefield hasn't scored so far here in the quarter, Ryan. I mean, you know, it kind of gets that feeling. It's like, who are you going to turn to? I mean, you know, who's going to be the guy that steps up? I think that they've played the team game so well tonight. At this point, it doesn't work against you, right? But at the same time, it's like, who's the one guy that you're depending on? I think you got to go to Chester.
I would. I mean, that's the guy time in, you know, last year to this year. He's a great shooter. That's what I would think. But the other four have had the clutch shots this game, so you kind of pick your poison.
Warren to inbound it. Warren, McCann, Chester, Castro, and Hughes, the starting five out there for Ridgefield here in crunch time. Good job breaking the press. Skip pass, far side. Castro passes up the open three. Decides to use a little bit more clock. Crowd is really into it here. Castro, hands off Chester. Chester being guarded by Jenkins. Good hezzy and a charge. Yeah, absolutely.
Good possession.
Yep. That time he didn't call it against Landon.
Oh, it's Chin Chin calling the charge.
Chin Chin's the... Coach Buffum asking his team to buckle down. It's okay. The very bottom of your picture in catcher position, clapping his hands. And they're going to get the equipment managers out here and wipe up the sweat from Landon Irwin's back. I mean, the game has been super physical, Ryan, and super competitive. The score hasn't really reflected that, though, throughout. Ridgefield's pretty much led, I would say, they've led the entire game. Yeah, I mean, closest it's gotten is to 1.
Right.
Jenkins muscling, fouled.
2 lines on him. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. That's going to be the 5th team foul on Ridgefield. Both teams will be in the bonus, by the way, the rest of the way out. Vaughn yelling from the stands, come on, Tremaine. Wants to see a couple free throws made here. These are big ones. First one swished home. You know, like I said, Ryan, he's just kind of got that look right now where he wants the ball. He wants the pressure. Now this one looks long, and it is, but Phil battling for the rebound. Million comes in and taps it out of bounds. It's a 3-point game, 1:27 to left.
Big possession.
Nice cut, Chester, and he gets the bucket. What a play. 5-point game.
You just kind of have a feeling that they were saving that one.
Jenkins fouled. They say no shot, but it don't matter. It's going to be 2 free throws. 58 seconds left. More free throws here for Trey Jenkins. Ryan, Chester's only got 4 tonight with that made bucket.
Like I said, if you'd have told me they'd be winning and controlling the tempo of the game, and Chester would be their, is he the lowest starting scorer right now for Ridgefield?
Yes, yeah.
That surprises me.
By 4 points, too, yeah. Trey misses a pair, but look who it is. Brown wants this 3. Brown misses it, though.
Good rebound.
Jenkins goes up, misses. Phil fouled. Phil will head to the line for 2, 48.2. Do you think about subbing Rhett Young in at this point and maybe get an offensive rebound based on how the foul shooting is going?
Whoa.
Not to play coach here for a second. I mean, everyone's got their...
I don't think so. I think he likes the small
lineup's the one that's got him into
there.
it. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, I think at this point you just got to make your freebies.
Probably more so need a good defensive possession and a steal than potentially an offensive rebound. And if he does go hard for the offensive rebound, it could just give Ridgefield free throws potentially.
That's Phil's first point, by the way.
Big one.
Calmly steps up
Big one.
and hits 2 free throws. Co-captain Peyton Thill cuts it to 3. Closest that it's been in over a quarter and a half. RA Long got it down to 1 back at 14-13, and I think they got it within 1 at 20-19 at one point as well. But since then, Ridgefield is led by as many as 14 to get to this point. In fact, they led by 14, 39-25 heading into this final quarter here. So, you know,
they've scored 2 points.
Yeah, they've scored only 2.
Chester lay-in. That's it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the effort that's been put forth tonight by both teams defensively has been incredible.
Yeah.
You know, Ridgefield held RA Long to single digits in the first and the third quarter. Obviously not so far here in the fourth, but you know, RA Long coming with its best defensive effort here in the final 8 minutes when it matters most. You know, I dare say it. I mean, these two teams might need OT to settle this one here. I mean,
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, we're all being treated to one here tonight. Appreciate everybody being with us. Ridgefield ball. They've done a great job of breaking the press after timeouts, and they do it again here. And now we've got a timeout.
That was a good call right there.
We're going to go widescreen here for this last possession. So there's going to be 19 on the shot clock. There's about a 17-ish second differential. Now here's the important things to know. If RA Long commits a foul, then that puts Ridgefield at the line for 2 free throws. Also, it would probably eliminate the shot clock for the rest of the game. You know, so obviously, if you're Coach Key, you're telling your guys we cannot afford a foul in this situation. But at the same time, they do need to rebound the basketball when the shot does go up, if the shot goes up. And obviously for Ridgefield, you know, you've gotten your best player the only bucket here in the fourth quarter. You got to figure out a way to get him an open look or a path to the basket to where at least you put it on the officials. And we got a nice feed down low. That is all ball, but it doesn't matter. Count the bucket. And 1 for Colton Castro. I don't know what the foul was, but I mean, that was tremendous strength by Castro. It's a 5-point lead again with 26.9. What a play. Castro calmly sinks it. 6-point game.
Oh, it's taking too long. Got to get one up. There you go.
That one rolls off for Rookledge. Ridgefield gets the rebound, and they are more than likely going to run this one out. Foul, and they are going to head to the line with 7.6, up by 6, and they're going to secure a victory here on the road. I'd have to go back and check to see how long it's been, Coach, but it's been at least like 5, maybe 6 years since Ridgefield has gotten a win over RA Long.
Yeah, I think Coach Buckham's going to be fired up about this one. RA Long's gotten the better of them the past few years, had some really good teams, so this one's going to feel good.
With the 2 free throws, Colton Castro now with 14 in the game. Brown throws up a 3. It's off. Rebound, Ridgefield, and that is going to do it, folks. The Spudders come into Longview and leave with a victory, not something that many teams can say in the Greater St. Helens League. 46-38. RA Long suffers an 8-point home defeat. Got to give all the credit in the world to Ridgefield. They never trailed throughout the entire game here, Coach.
Yeah, it was a well-executed game plan. All guys played hard. even scoring, clutch buckets when they needed it. Not the best fourth quarter that I think Coach Buffum wanted, but down the stretch made the buckets they needed to.
Well, they did enough, that is for sure. They end up only scoring 7 in that fourth quarter, but they got them when they needed them down the stretch. And you got to give a lot of credit to Chester for staying with it, keeping his head in the game. He was only, held to 2 points before that bucket down the stretch there. And Castro, I mean, that was the difference right there, was that bucket down low. I mean, it's a 3-point game. Missed shot there. You're talking about a different strategy up the court for R.A. Long. But once you're down by 6, and you can't commit fouls and you have to put them on the line for 2, it becomes a very difficult win to come back and win on. That's my point where I say I hate that rule, is because it's not the NBA, but they call it now like it's the NBA here in the state of Washington. The 1-and-1 free throw doesn't seem to matter, and I'm a big fan of one quarter and another quarter's fouls combining for 7 team fouls, 10 team fouls, the bonus double bonus situation. That's always been my thing. I've always liked that. But
2's just such a freebie, and 1-on-1 there's just so much more pressure because you got to make the first one.
Yeah.
Now it's, taking some of the pressure out of it.
Want to win tonight on the road for Ridgefield, as they now are 3-2 in the Greater St. Helens League. R.A. Long is also 3-2 in the Greater St. Helens League. These two teams will meet up again late January down in Ridgefield. I'm already looking forward to that one. I talked to Coach Jure, Key from R.A. Long, about a week ago. It wasn't an on-record conversation, but I don't think he would mind me telling that, there's 2 different seasons within the season, right? There's the season that's before Christmas break, and then there's the season after the new year,
100%.
How teams come back after the first of the year, after they've played their holiday tournament, when they've had a chance to kind of reflect a little bit, and, how you come back and you play in the second half of the year ultimately says a lot about where you're going to end up. If anybody besides me had Ridgefield possibly going to the round of 16 last year on their bingo card, I'd call you a liar, because nobody did, and look where they ended up. And they had 9 or 10 losses, and they still found themselves in the regional round after, beating Black Hills by 22, holding them to 33,
Yeah.
That's the style that Ridgefield has. And you mentioned it during this broadcast, is that when you're playing a team that looks just like you, it's going to bring out that competitive nature where you're playing your brother, right? And Ridgefield played like the bigger brother here tonight. They came in and they played slightly better defense. And they set the tone early in the game that they weren't going to allow Rhett Young to establish position down low.
Right.
They were willing to sacrifice fouls all night long to not let him get
uncomfortable.
to not give him the position. But the thing that I think made the difference, and this is not a shot at the officials, they let him play.
Yeah.
They didn't control the game tonight.
Right.
They let the players' physicality control the game.
Exactly.
And for the most part, you got to give Coach Buffum a lot of credit for how he masterminded that game plan tonight. And I think R.A. Long did a good job of chipping away at that game plan. But, the difference was that, they couldn't get their shots to fall from long range tonight. And the physicality played a lot in that factor. There were a lot of shoulder bumps on drives to the hoop that weren't called here. It was a physical game and quite a battle. Both of these teams are going to be in the mix. But, man, another thing that, you mentioned is that, man, the depth in this league. You got Hawkinson that beat Ridgefield, and R.A. Long beat him. Obviously, Washougal's nipped R.A. Long, and obviously you got Mark Morris and Columbia Rivers, the team that everyone thinks is the one that's going to win it.
The one right now.
So you've realistically got like 5 solid options. In the Greater St. Helens League. I feel bad for whoever the 1 seed is from the EVCO this year.
Yeah.
Because that 1-4 matchup, or whatever it ends up being, is not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be tough. With Tumwater losing their top 6 scorers from last year, WF West lost a game on the road to Ridgefield already this season. Granted, it was in spectacular comeback fashion.
What were they down?
They were down 10 with a minute and 5 to go, and they came back and won by 1. So,
amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the free throw rule, even more impressive.
Yeah.
But still, the competitive nature that we're going to see throughout the year. The league champion, Ryan, might have 3 or 4 losses by the time this season's over with.
Right.
So, time to name a player of the game here. First, let's go through the numbers for both teams, and then we'll name a player of the game. Leading the way for Ridgefield tonight was Colton Castro, the 6'2 senior, with 14 points. Next in line, we've got Colton Warren with 9. And then Jamison McCann and Jack Hughes are tied with 8. Cole Chester with 4. And then Drew Kerschel, that big buzzer beater 3 at the end of the third quarter, the only other player that was not in the starting lineup tonight for Ridgefield to score the basketball. Total points for the Spuds tonight, 46. And for R.A. Long, Trey Jenkins, unofficially 15 points to lead the Lumberjacks. Lonnie Brown with 9. Landon Irwin and Rhett Young tied with 5. Peyton Thill and Jeff Rookledge with 2. Total scoring tonight for R.A. Long, 38. And, 15 of those 38 coming from junior Tremaine Jenkins. You mentioned it. He's getting a lot healthier tonight. He's the Lumberjacks player of the game in my estimation. Obviously, I think I'm going to go with Castro ultimately sealing the game late with the big bucket and the free throws along the way. I'd be overlooking the efforts tonight of Jack Hughes. I think, if you combine the fact that he scored 8 and then did such a good job defensively on Young. If there's a co-player of the game for Ridgefield, I think Jack Hughes, really earned his stripes here tonight. 6'2" junior.
Yeah, did a great job. McCann had some key second chance points, good defensive possessions in the first half too. Warren hit some big shots. It was just an overall team effort. You were going through the lines, and I'm like, man, I don't know. Overall team effort, good, tough win. Castro made his free throws, made the big lay-in at the end. He's probably the guy for Ridgefield, player of the game.
I'm okay with that. Colton Castro, 14 points, the senior player of the game for Ridgefield tonight, and overall 46-38. Ridgefield gets the road league victory, and that was a big one for them. Going on the road and losing to Hawkinson. You don't want to fall too far behind in the tiebreaker area.
Exactly.
And they got themselves a big win tonight, and now. We'll see how R.A. Long responds. 2 league losses, right? It's something that hasn't happened in about 4 years now for them.
Right.
And it's going to be a good opportunity, I think, for the guys to come back and, battle through adversity. And, they've only got each other at this point, right? They got each other, and there's no one person that's going to be looked at to be depended on to take them out of this. They're going to all have to collectively pull themselves up by the bootstraps and get themselves right. They've got a tough game coming up next week at Prairie. Then they go at Columbia River also. There's no time for the Jacks to feel sorry for themselves.
No way.
They've got big games coming up and, big opportunities as well. So I look forward to reading about them and checking out the live streams that they have on the road next week and kind of seeing how the journey is going to shape out for them post Christmas holiday break. But it ain't over yet. It's a long season, and I look forward to seeing these two teams get together again next year. Ryan, I appreciate you coming on out and doing the live stream with me tonight. Hope you had fun. Sorry we didn't treat you to a Lumberjack victory here, but, par is the course for the N2 Media broadcast, I guess.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Hey, Civil War, for all those that don't know, the Washington Huskies are playing a football game against University of Texas on the 1st of January. Well, if Washington wins that, they would play for the national championship on the 8th of January. That happens to be the day that the Civil War boys basketball game is scheduled between Mark Morris and R.A. Long. And we got news today from Jody Nalen of the Daily News that said that the minds came together and said, hey, if UW makes the national championship game, we are going to move the Civil War to Saturday, January the 6th. So save that information in the back of your head. January 6th, a potential day for the boys' Civil War that would be played here on a Saturday. So that's a special time for you, right? To see the Civil War, get the school you coached and the former school that you played for, and Mark Morris. And, they've had their struggles as well this year, too, going down the Columbia River and picking up a loss and losing a couple non-league games. Both teams in Longview are, kind of looking for, a new year, a new thing to kind of battle through this year, because they've had it not say easy the last couple of years, but sure. Longview's had the best teams the last 3 seasons easily. Yeah. So it's a whole different season for everybody here.
For sure, and I think both Coach Key and Coach Backamus are both looking forward to that. In the sense that now you got a lot of room for improvement and adversity to overcome. with having, to rely on younger players that haven't had to play serious varsity minutes yet. And, it's just going to make practice time and after winter break that much more critical for those guys. So, but, they're up for the task. They've been doing it a long time, and great coaches.
I look forward to it. I think exactly. Good coaches, and it's not always going to be easy. Some of these guys, they do their best work during seasons like this, when they have to get everybody rallied together and figure out a way to get back to that winning brand of basketball, and totally different for all the teams. Really, the funny thing to me is that the way that things kind of switched from one year to the other. Last year everyone's talking about one player doing everything for Ari Long. Now everybody's talking about one player doing everything for Mark Morris.
Right.
And it's the roles have totally flip-flopped. And
yeah.
Both teams kind of just need to, discover a new identity, so to speak.
Exactly.
And defense has been what Ari Long has done it with this year, but Ridgefield just out-defensed them here tonight at the Lumberdome. 46-38, that's the final. Fans, Monday, we are going to be live again over at Kelso. Girls basketball. For the third time this year, we will have the WF West Lady Bearcats on the broadcast as they are going to take on the Kelso Lassies. And then we're going to have a couple of non-league games with the Kelso boys. They'll be taking on Rogers of Puyallup and also Emerald Ridge. So we'll have those games as well next week. And I think we're making a stop someplace else, so I'll get that information. We're going to be over at Mark Morris on Tuesday. Tumwater taking on Mark Morris. That'll be a good non-league game there. So, yeah, we got a pretty good slate for everybody next week to check out. So appreciate everybody coming on by. On behalf of my co-host, Ryan Littlefield, I am Nick Sisson. This is N2 Media, and on behalf of Ari Long, Ridgefield Athletics, we say so long and good night from Ari Long. Ridgefield wins it 46-38. Thank you so much, fans. Back at it next week.